Hey everyone, FusedVR coming at ya, and I hope this video finds you doing super well. Got some pretty exciting content coming in this video as well as the next 3 videos in this series. For full disclosure, this is a sponsored video by Intel about their contest, the Ultimate Coder Challenge. Now, this is the first piece of sponsored content that I've done on this channel, and I usually decline a lot of offers, but this one in particular really resonated with me about the missions and goals about getting more VR devs into the ecosystem. So I'm really excited about that, and we'll talk a little bit more about the contest in this video. So get excited and enjoy watching this. And today I have with us Eric Manton, who is running this challenge from Intel, and it's really super awesome to have him on today. So welcome to the channel.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, so let's kind of just start by talking about what the Ultimate Coder Challenge actually is and some of the things that people watching this video can expect to see moving forward.
Right, so basically we have an 8-week challenge going on. We have this group of developers that we've been working with in the past called innovators, and we put out invitations to them. We picked what we thought were the 8 best projects. And so during the course of the challenge, people can follow along through their blogs and videos to see how they progress, to see how they went about creating a VR experience. And hopefully it helps the folks that follow along at home to see the process and maybe better understand how they potentially in the future could create some sort of video experience for themselves.
Yeah.
Or sorry, virtual VR experience for themselves.
Yeah, and I think that was one of the big things that actually resonated with me is just the fact that the goal aligned perfectly with what this channel really represents is getting as many people as we can to actually build super awesome content. And people have to start somewhere, and you never know what the right piece of content is that'll actually get someone started to building cool things. So I'm just really stoked with it, with that mission, and how basically seeing how this actually progresses as we move forward.
This is actually the 4th Ultimate Coder we've done. The first one we've done on VR. We've done them before on other topics like Ultrabooks and IoT. So it's continuing a pretty successful path there.
Yeah. And I mean, I think now is actually pretty much the right time to get into VR. Things have started to mature, things have stabilized, and now is just kind of that time where market's a little down, but I think people are waiting for more amazing content to come through, and I think some of the content that comes out of this content will be some of that content that hopefully pushes the market a little bit forward.
I think that what we see going on in virtual reality, obviously there's the gaming side, which is always fun and exciting and things like that. But this challenge is actually focused on commercial VR. In the world of commercial VR, if you build an application to help, let's say, interior design, give their clients a better understanding of what their future room's going to be and sell better and things like that, or education or a number of different areas, then from a developer standpoint, it can be somewhat of a more secure opportunity, right? You go to the florist or the dentist or whoever it is, they sign a contract, you make the app, and you get paid. You don't have to worry if it was or was not successful.
Yeah, no, I mean, I 100% agree with that. I think there are a lot of B2B actual applications that not many people are actually tapping into. So any way to partner people up in that regard is super awesome. And I think that's actually a good segue into what are the things that contestants will be building and what are kind of the industry sectors that people will be building in.
Well, so we have a wide variety, and like I said, we were trying to get some of the best ideas, but we also wanted a good variety in terms of what was doing. One of them, for example, the team out of Iowa, they're going to be working on, believe it or not, a tractor training.
That's right? Awesome.
Well, it seems, but in this case specifically, it's for like these sprayers that are like a 50-foot wide boom, and it's not just the old farmer Joe red tractor type of thing. These are high-end pieces of machinery, and if you're going to take some 17, 18-year-old kid for 8 hours, it's pretty easy for the driver to not properly sort of acclimate for that wide of a sprayer and wrap it around a telephone pole, either doing damage to the sprayer or getting somebody hurt or whatever else it is. So that's one. We've got quite a few that are focused on things like learning. Like one is on the human body, making it a nice VR immersive experience so kids can learn about biology in something a little bit better than your dry old textbook. And we even have one actually out of Africa that's going to be focusing on helping what they call over there, I'm told, bazaars, which is where they sell cars.
Yep.
They're going to use VR to help people sell and buy cars more effectively. So we have a wide variety of different things going on, and we're hoping people will find at least one or multiple projects that they would get really excited about.
Yeah, and I think one of the other things that's worth noting when we talked about this a little bit before is kind of the diversity of where people are coming from, the backgrounds they're bringing into this project, and kind of the different things that they're tackling, which I think is just really awesome to just kind of see people around the world actually building really cool, different, unique things. So
we literally have every continent except Antarctica. So,
which I mean.
Yeah, the Penguins need to up their game a little bit, but other than that, we're good to go.
Yeah, and I mean, I think for anyone in the comments that says basically, well, you guys don't have Antarctica, you also guys don't have the space and Mars and whatnot. So
I know. Well, next year.
Yeah, exactly.
Future release.
Yeah, just good old DLC, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I definitely think there are a wide range of problems that are getting tackled, which hopefully speaks to someone. So moving on to kind of the contest itself. So just logistics-wise, it is 8 weeks and just hustling through that 8 weeks. You want to build more upon what people have to do during that 8 weeks?
Yeah, so we're again, because we were able to select from these innovators that we have a good relationship with, they have a lot of chops already in the VR space. It's not like they're learning brand new. They're not new running into it. And so you're right, 8 weeks is certainly not a long time, but while a bit of a compact schedule, they will be blogging and making videos every week so people can follow along and see how they're going through it, right? If they had to, let's figure out how to make wheat look realistic in VR for their tractor, whatever, whatever they learned that week of, oh my God, this library is awesome, let's share it. And awesome. Then at the end, they'll finish the projects. We'll get them submitted to the 7 judges. We have 5 from our side and 2 from Microsoft. And then we'll have a confab. We'll have a meeting and discuss, okay, well, how did we rate all of them? And we'll pick one grand prize winner for the best VR experience. And then there'll also be sub prizes for the best blogging series and the best video series. So, therefore we have a wide variety because it really is about, we definitely want some great things to come out of it, these 8 great projects, but we also want to help excite and inspire the developer community. When we look at some of the data that we have, there's a ton of developers out there, but not a lot have started to dip their toe into VR.
Yeah.
And obviously I'm not saying VR is trivial, it's not, but it's not Mount Everest, right? It's a healthy hike. It's not an unsurmountable hike. And that's what we're hoping to do is get people inspired of like, hey, I could get into that. I've done things with Unity or Unreal or whatever engines they use. And, through those processes, I get a jump start. So that's what we're hoping to have an outcome from.
Yeah. And I think it's important to know it is not just game devs or people with a 3D background. It is anyone who has built anything, whether you're an artist, whether you're just coming from data viz or machine learning or whatever else is hot in the developer community nowadays. It's all of that. Is VR in some ways, because it's about experience, is applicable to everyone and about making it possible to experience things that might be hard depending on the background you come from. So I think that's a super important mission as well because it solves a lot of things.
And that's the other thing that we found in the survey data that we've looked at is that old school mentality that, oh, I'm a database, admin, or I'm a web developer or whatever. That has really faded away with a lot of the tools that are out there and all the languages. People, like the majority of developers, at least in the survey that we saw, do at least 2 or more topics, right? They might be like smartphone and tablet or, gaming and VR or whatever it might be. This monolithic old school think of, I only do one thing. But, that's gone.
Yeah. And I think it's cool because people now have so many tools to get into whatever they're super interested in, and just can, whether that's just kind of going Python and the data viz route, or if it's going visual with Unity and all of the tools, it's very much more accessible than, say, probably 20, 30 years ago.
So much so. Yeah.
And I think that's what really allows that to happen, is with your spare time, you can pretty much do whatever you want, and it's really exciting in that regard. So let's talk a little bit about kind of the tech that people will be using for development. So we have some of the things that I think are moving towards the direction of making VR a lot more accessible and developer friendly, as well as kind of B2B friendly and consumer friendly.
Right.
So I want to give a little bit of insight into that.
Yeah, so the platform that we're centering around, which was previously codenamed the Hades Canyon, is now called the Intel Nook 8 VR machine. Here, you got it right there. And you can see that, based on your hands, it's about the size of maybe, let's say, a healthy wireless router.
Yep.
It's not, certainly not what you would call a honking desktop. And because we were focused on this commercial VR, we went with this platform because we feel like it's something that you could use anywhere. We'll pick on the interior designer, right, that I used before. Those folks are probably very much on aesthetics. And they probably have a very nice office, very well decorated, and go with the territory. And they probably don't want what they would consider some sort of gaming rig eyesore.
Yeah.
This, like, you can mount the Hades Canyon on the back of a monitor. It can literally be out of sight, out of mind, and yet it's still powerful enough to run a strong VR experience. And as I mentioned before, we're partnering with Microsoft. They're providing the headsets from HP, so that you can get a good VR experience. So the participants in the challenge get the full suite of hardware, so that they can get right up and running. And we're pretty excited about how these things turn out. We've actually gotten rave reviews on the Intel Nook 8 VR machine. I did a show. I did a show at GDC, and I was showing it off, and I don't know how many times I had to open the cabinets because people were like, "No, show me the real PC underneath the cabinet." Right?
It's like, what?
The man behind the window. I'd open it up, empty cabinet, like, no, it's really running on this machine.
Yeah.
But that's so small. It's like Mighty Mouse. What can I say?
Yeah. All right. So, as far as value to bring to our audience, or people watching this, or maybe watching the contest, what is one piece of advice you think you could give to someone who is just getting started, probably has a developer background, but doesn't really know, just as far as tools or as far as hardware, or just even design? Like, what is one thing you would advise them to do?
They say that a Chinese proverb that said all great journeys begin with a single step. So the number thing I would advise is get started. Right?
There you go.
You miss, what is that phrase? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yep.
And it's exactly that sort of demographic you talk about, people that have developer experience but haven't tried VR yet, that we're hoping most benefits from this challenge. The Ultimate Coder is really something like a reality TV show almost, right?
Yeah.
But you get to follow along and watch how they go through the process, and we hope that it really gets people to think, oh, yeah, I could at least try it. And we, like, the example that we think is, there are so many developers all over the world, right? They're not all in San Francisco. You got them in Oklahoma, you got them in Romania, wherever it might be. And they might be in a situation where their uncle or their mother or whatever has some business. And they're like, hey, what if I made a VR app to make your landscaping business really pop? And people are like, oh my God, now I can see what the shrubs are, whatever it might be. Or they have a passion about something, astronomy or cellular biology or whatever it might be. They can develop something that helps kids learn stuff. So we think between selling and education and training, like I said, the tractor one, the company that we're working with there, they have an affiliation with John Deere. So this is going to hopefully get sanctified through them.
Awesome.
And you can imagine that applying to all kinds of other stuff, right? Backhoes and Caterpillar and all kinds of other big equipment. So training something on any kid on VR is way cheaper than having, tip over. We've all seen the funny pictures on Facebook, right? Of a bulldozer. Like, how'd you get the bulldozer to do a handstand? Well, this prevents all that. They get some, sort of sick time before they have to worry about doing anything dangerous. So that's what it's not just about getting these 8Ks through it. We're excited about the 8 teams, but it's really about every developer, right? You can do it too. Sort of, play along at home, so to speak.
I would love to see that happen. It's just people spend 8 weeks prototyping whatever they think is awesome. If you're watching this, that's definitely a possibility to see happen, because it would be really, really awesome and rewarding for, I think, Intel, Microsoft, myself, to see that happen, and more content to foster.
Absolutely.
All right, so the last thing is, where can people follow along besides this channel with all the developments that are happening with the Ultimate Coder Challenge?
So we will have a centralized hub for the challenge. It'll simply be ultimatecoder.intel.com.
Cool.
And you just go to there, and there'll be, like I said, the weekly updates from the team. Their blogs and videos will get posted, and you can follow along and hopefully get excited about developing cool new things in VR.
Awesome. Well, I definitely can't wait to check and see what that first blog post is. It should be happening fairly soon after this video goes live, and should be just weekly updates from there. Will be super, super awesome. Just kind of seeing, I think it's always interesting to see how people go through the process of actually developing things, from the dinky prototypes to just all of a sudden just flipping the switch and becoming absolutely stunning. So that'll be super exciting to see.
That's exactly the magic we're hoping to capture. So
awesome.
We totally agree with you.
All right. So thanks so much for coming on, Eric. And
thanks
yeah, this has been super, super fun. All right. So for everyone else that's watching, thanks so much for watching. And again, make sure I'll leave all the links in the description below. You can go ahead and check it out from there. And yeah, this is going to be super, super awesome. You'll expect some stuff with the nuke coming up as far as like reviews and maybe even a tutorial, if I can get my fingers crossed, on the backpack VR, which I think would be super fun. And yeah, a lot of amazing stuff coming down the pipe. So thanks again for watching. Until next time, this has been FusedMan, and I'm signing out.